iPhone 15 isn't really $7.99. It's only $7.99 if you activate it through your carrier or you activate it through Apple. So if you go through Apple, you can see when you go through, you pick your color, you pick your storage option, you go through your trade-in, and then it tells you the real price. Because when you first start up at the top, it says $7.99. And then if you click that you want an unlocked model down at the bottom, surprise, it's $829. And it might actually cost you even $35 or $30 more than that because of your carrier activation fee. So if you go through the Apple website and you choose to go through one of the carrier options there, Verizon, AT&T, whatever, then they waive that $30 activation fee and you get it for $7.99. But that's not the case if you go through like your carrier, because they'll still charge you the activation fee. But the biggest thing I'm concerned about is the unlocked one. I like having an unlocked iPhone because sometimes like I'll switch from T-Mobile to AT&T if they've got some better deals, or vice versa, or Mint Mobile. I bounce around kind of every once in a while, so I don't want to be locked into the carrier option. I like having it unlocked, and that used to be more important because you could swap your SIM card out, but now you're screwed because you've got to do the eSIM. So you have to go through your carrier to activate it. You can't just pop your old SIM card in, Bob's your uncle, you're good to go. So they took that away. Now you're forced to go through a carrier, and you got to get the QR code, you got to scan it and all that stuff. If you go through your carrier after you buy it unlocked, they usually charge you like $35 for an activation fee. I know AT&T and T-Mobile do. I'm sure Verizon probably does the same. So here's the quandary. If you buy it unlocked, you're not getting the discount. You're not getting it for $7.99. You're paying $8.29. But then go to your carrier to get it set up through the QR code. They're likely going to charge you $30 to $35 for an activation fee. So you could actually, in theory, end up paying like $860 just to use your $799 phone, which is ridiculous. It's so stupid to me that they make it where there's no way that you can get it for $799 unlocked. Like, you just can't do it. And it's really, really frustrating because I don't want to go through the carrier. I'm sure you might not want to go through the carrier. And it's just another way that I'm sure they've worked this deal out with the carriers, because when you finance a phone, you're basically tied into a contract. It's not a contract that locks you in. You can change, you can switch to another service, but then they charge you for it. And AT&T even changed up to where they do this is different. With T-Mobile, like let's say you've got 5 lines with T-Mobile and you take one and you go to AT&T and you've got a payment plan. In the past, or at least how it's worked for me, is if you take that one line off and leave the other ones, they still just keep charging you the monthly payment. Well, I had a good deal when I switched from AT&T to T-Mobile whenever I got my Pixel Fold, because they gave me $1,000 off. Well, I still had $400 remaining on the payment plan with my AT&T phone. They don't just keep it on there with my other lines. They straight up charged me $400 and paid it all off with my debit card that was on file. So I was trying to figure out why my phone bill was like $800 this last month, and it's because they did that. So no, you're not locked into a contract anymore, but it benefits these services to have you on their plans with these installment agreements, because you basically can't leave. And you can leave, but it costs you a lot of money to leave, and they're making it harder and harder than ever. It's almost like we're in these de facto contracts again. So it's like you're screwed if you do, and you're screwed if you don't. And then Apple's not really transparent with this because they advertise as being $7.99. Well, it's only $7.99 if you get the $30 waived carrier discount going through Apple. So they try and do it that way, probably to keep more money in their pockets, because that's the only thing I can imagine they would be doing that for. It's not a consumer-friendly practice, and it's certainly not to benefit the customer. That's solely so they can try and make more money off of it, and they can advertise it as a lower price. So it's not actually $7.99. It's an $829 iPhone. And again, if you don't go through the activation with Apple, if you buy it outright and then go to your carrier, they're going to charge you $35. So effectively, it's like you got to pay $860 just to be able to get this phone that they advertise as being $7.99. So they heavily penalize you if you don't go through Apple and activate it that way. So I can't really, there's not really any way around this. You could probably go through your carrier and get it that way, and if you want to bypass Apple on that, but ultimately the money goes back to them anyway. It's one of those practices that I really hate that Apple does, because no other brand does it. No one. Samsung doesn't do it. Motorola, Sony, none of those guys. It's just another way that they can kick you in the shin and squeeze $30 more out of you, so you have freedom. So you have freedom to choose, so you can have freedom to have your phone and move it freely where you want it to be. It's ridiculous. It's a $30 surcharge on the price of freedom. And of course, they don't advertise that. Like, you see it, they're like, oh, the brand new iPhone 15 starts at $799. But wait, it's not really $7.99 unless you go through us. And then we'll give you the exclusive activation discount so that we can get you locked into paying us, especially if you use your Apple Card, Apple financing. Like, they, of course, encourage you to do those things, even pay later. Like, they've got the, for pay or whatever in the world. They want to keep you paying them. So if you can save $30 by activating it through Apple, they can just keep raking in more money instead of you going through your carrier or buying it outright. Of course, they're going to get that money anyway, but they don't get interest. See, if you buy it outright, you can't finance it. You can't buy it on a credit card through them to use your Apple credit card, all that stuff. They're not going to make that money unless effectively you use one of their payment methods or you buy it from them. So it's just really frustrating. I want to let you guys know, you may not realize this, but if you wanted to buy it unlocked, which some of you, I know I'm going to get like 5 people. Well, I'm going to activate it through my carrier, so this doesn't apply to me. I don't see what you're upset about. Look, those things are really terrible arguments. Just because you don't care doesn't mean that they're not screwing people. And that's kind of the point here. And yeah, if you want to buy it unlocked, you're going to get screwed, maybe even twice. So that's all I got. No real good news here. Just sharing that because, of course, today is the day everybody wants to go out and buy their iPhones. So just to give you a little heads up before you go to shopping cart on Apple and realize that, hey, if you buy it unlocked, you're paying $30 more than everybody else. So yeah, that's all I got. If you have any questions or comments, and please, of course, go to the comment section. We can discuss this. If you enjoyed the video, if you found this helpful, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching. I'll see you guys next time.